It's Margarita Skyping, and I'm here to tell you a short, funny story, or not so funny, that led to interesting conclusions and me wanting to film this video for you. If you're out there and you're scared that you're gonna go to a store and they're going to change your diamond, or you want to give your watches and you're afraid that they're going to change the mechanism and all that kind of stuff. I have a lot of clients who are scared that once they go to the store, the jeweler or whoever going to repair their ring is going to change their center stone or do some funky business. I'm here to tell you the truth and just explain how this can or cannot happen and under which circumstances it would and it would not happen. It's Margarita Skyping, and I am the owner of Miami Jewels and Magnons Inc. I hope you enjoy my channel. If you do, please subscribe. I tend to do videos super short and down to business. Okay, without further ado, if you're out there and you're scared that you're going to come for a repair and somebody is going to change your center stone, and this story is for you. I had a lady come about 10 years ago and she wanted to appraise her diamond ring. At that point, I was offering appraisal services. That was one of the main things that I did as a gemologist. And so I'm sitting just like here. I would have my microscope here. She would be right across me. I would take her ring and I'm looking through the microscope and it's just a cubic zirconia. It's a big, large 3-carat cubic zirconia. So I give her the ring back and I say, ma'am, I don't think it's worth appraising because it's just a cubic zirconia. She started raging. Like, you changed the center stone. This is supposed to be a diamond. You just changed the center stone. Now you're telling me it's cubic. You have to understand this is happening right in front of me. So at first I was very startled because that was very, an experience that you don't expect because it's been 5 seconds. So number one, I want to make you understand that it's not that easy to change a center stone if you are right there. So if you're thinking you're going to come to a jeweler and they're just taking a ring to take a look at it, they would not be able to do it right then. So I understand if you're scared to leave something, that's a different story. But if you're scared to come to a jeweler or to an appraiser to appraise your item, it's silly because it doesn't work that way and it's not possible. I'm not talking about right now about reputation and how you should be looking for a good company. I'm talking about technicality. Technical wise, it is not possible. Stones don't just pop out. You can't just take a ring, take a look at it, and then pop another one in while you're not looking or while you blink. That's not how it works. It is not gonna happen. So with the story with this lady, she called her husband because she said she's gonna call the police. And I said, you can call the police because our offices are full of security cameras, so they can take a look at it and so should you. Obviously, it's been 5 minutes since I've seen you, so I know that I didn't switch anything. So she did end up calling her husband to call the police, and I hear her nodding and then just being in shock. And once she dropped the phone, she said, do you know what my husband told me? And I said, what did your husband tell you? She said, my husband told me, how do you think we afforded that house 5 years ago? So her husband went and switched the center stone, didn't tell her. She ended up wearing a cubic thinking it's a diamond, and they bought a new house with that money that I guess he sold the old diamond with. Now, this story just teaches some of you out there that not to make conclusions right away and not to obviously panic. But I wanted to make this video just to make you understand how easy or hard that is. So if you are worried out there that you're gonna keep something with the jeweler and they're gonna do some funky business, my biggest advice that I can give you today is to go to a small jeweler. And I'm saying this because the stories that I've had happen that I personally know of that switching business did come about, it happened in large stores where there's a few employees, where there's a lot of orders, where things get messy, and where employees can do funky business to get their own money or whatever out of this. Normally, when you go to a smaller jeweler or a family business, hopefully one that you've read reviews, like I say in all my videos, hopefully one that maybe was referred to you by your friends or family that have gone there and checked it out and thought it was fine. Just normally those places take care of you more because for them, every client makes a difference. For a small business, every client is a client and they usually like to take care of them in order to keep them for a long time. So if you're out there scared, my number one advice is, of course, to go to a smaller place by recommendation only, whether it happened through reviews or your friends or family. My number two advice, if you're scared, is to understand first what is it that you have, because Because if you have a stone which is GIA certified and you have your GIA certificate, it should have a certificate number, and that certificate number should also be inscribed in the girdle of the diamond. In which case, once you give your ring, for example, for repair, for a day 2 or whatever, if it needs to be resized or repaired, you can always take the ring back and look at the number with a loop, or ask them to jot down the number of the GIA certificate for you, which you can then take a look at your certificate on hand and compare that the two match. That's my number 2 advice if you're scared to leave your items for repair. And number 3 advice, do your homework. Get to know them before. So you can go to a jewelry store or a jeweler numerous of times. It could be to look at their ring collection. It could be to try on some of their bracelets, some of their necklaces. It could be just to have a conversation on a, Sunday or Monday or Tuesday. But I feel like if you get to know them a little bit, if you see them 2-3 times and all those times they feel comfortable to you, you didn't see any red flags, you didn't see any people there that were, weird in any way about your questions, you didn't see customers that walked out ranging, you saw regular people shopping and having friendly conversations, hopefully a friendly staff. If 2-3 times you went to a store and it checked out, all those things checked out and you felt comfortable, then maybe that's the best way to do it. I did have a couple of clients who were scared with me, even though they see all my videos, even though they see my presence on social media. It happens. It naturally happens with a lot of people. They're just scared to leave their jewelry with someone. So I did have a few clients that were so scared to leave something with me, we had to schedule an appointment and they waited in the office until the item was done. I do offer it rarely, I want to say, not very often, because it is very, very convenient for any jewelry store to do it on spot. It is an extra charge to do it on spot because I would have to leave everything open for your item at that particular place. I would have to have you sit there for 2, 3, 4 hours, whatever it takes to either resize your ring or repair it or whatever. We do offer that service for those people that are super nervous. And actually some stores do offer that service too. It is usually extra. I want to be clear on that. If you just don't feel comfortable in any way at all, ask the store or ask the jeweler, can you sit there during the appointment and just read your book while they work on your item? Some people don't like that. Some jewelers don't like that. It means nothing. It does not mean that they're bad in any way or they're trying to deceive you in any way. Some jewelers are just not comfortable with that approach, and that can be respected. However, there are some jewelers that understand that part and they will be okay with you doing it. So my 4th advice, I guess, is to ask around if somebody will offer repair or whatever service you need while you wait. It's Margareta Skypen, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.